Okay, so uh in today's video, there's something I wanted to talk about actually that has been on my mind for a while. I was talking to my family about it actually, and like I don't think they really understood what I was trying to say. And I want to, explain it to y'all, and hopefully y'all will understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe you can let me know if I'm an absolute madman, if maybe I'm on to nothing. But I was just thinking about um a lot of like the big conflicts in our nation, or not even our nation, but just the world in general, right? I'm not talking about wars and stuff, even though that's even a part of it too. But I feel like with everything, there's always like two sides, And I mean, I get that that's natural. That's natural for there to be two sides to everything, right? But it's like it's almost to a point to where like it seems so deliberate though. And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. So for the first example, right? There's like the let's talk about the gender wars, right? There's like a whole gender wars thing that's spiked up ever since the inception of social media, right? That's become a big thing with the whole gender wars, man versus women, women don't need men, men don't need women or whatever. The whole red pill stuff, um, feminism stuff, things of that nature. And I feel like it's like super convenient. It's super convenient if your goal is to like divide people, And I know I'm explaining this terribly, but like I'm sure you can get what I'm saying, right? So it's like you already have that basis, right? You have men versus women. And you have you can sow different seeds of that through like social media or whatever, and feminist culture and red pill culture. You see it all the time. There's like two sides to it. It's like you have the super toxic, feminist stuff to where they're like, we don't need men, blah blah blah, talking about abortion and stuff, things of that nature, which I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's like, not like, no men, no men at all. We don't want anything to do with men. Men are useless. We don't need men. And then you have the red pill stuff to where they're either extreme to where they're like we don't need, like women are, dating's cooked, women are cooked, women are scums, or it's like, you know we like women, but it's like, let's keep it a buck, we got to treat them like trash, we got to treat them horribly or whatever. Either way, it's a negative connotation when keeping the other gender in mind for both sides, right? So you have that, and then you have things like religion, religion disputes or whatever. It's, that's been a thing for a while. All of this has kind of been a thing for a while, but hasn't been big. I feel like ever since the inception of social media, these things have like become massive. Um, and so, you got the religion stuff, obviously. Um, People get crap for being Christian. People get crap for being all, it's like everyone gets crapped on for their religion. You get what I'm saying? You have Christians going against Muslims, Muslims going. You get what I'm saying? And it's like this big divide once more, and it's like painting each side to be the bad person. You get what I'm saying? Even with atheists too, you could even throw them in the argument too. It's like, it's painting each one. A lot of atheists see Christians or just religious people in general as like super judgmental, which I mean, a lot of them are, but like it's this big thing to where there's never an agreement. I've never seen like a solid agreement to where they can be like, you know what, we can agree to disagree. It's always hostile. It's always a feud, and it's just like it feels like everything has like it's either black or white. No one can kind of come to the middle. No one can kind of like agree to disagree, like I said. And then we have the stuff with like, you know, what was I gonna say? Oh, left versus right, right? You have that. Um, left versus right. That's been a thing for a while, but it's like that's like the that's like the mother of division. You get what I'm saying? Like that's always been a thing. It will always be a thing. But what's so funny to me is that like I feel like people don't realize that like obviously each side matters, right? And you know, before I talk about this, I want you to know that I'm not super versed into politics. You know, I know a thing or two, but I'm not super versed. But it's like if you ask me, right, it feels like each side is almost like the same thing. Now, I'm not saying things with like, you know, their views on very specific things or whatever, but it feels like each side is like, it feels like picking the better of two evils in a lot of cases, or, it feels like, it feels like two sides of the same coin. You get what I'm saying? It's like either way, we don't have much power. No matter who you choose, we don't have much power. It's like the illusion of power. You think if you're picking a specific person, you get more like you're getting more power, you're getting more say, but you're not. It feels like better of two evils. It feels like the same. It feels like two sides of the same coin, and it's just like it's so weird to me, you know. And it creates so much division. It's the same thing with that, you know. There is no meeting in the middle. There is no agreeing to disagree. They are hostile. They're ready to kill each other over these things. It's like taking like sports teams and turning it up to like 10. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know how sports teams, you know, people are ride or die, but you know, there's obviously extreme cases, but in most cases, people aren't willing to die over that, but there'll still be heated debates. It's like that turned to a 10. People are willing to die over this like politics stuff. And it's just so weird to me. Like, I understand that it's important. I understand that, you know, that is politics in a lot of cases is, you know, you're debating, you know, the for the future of the country, but to me it just seems like two sides of the same coin, bro. Honestly, it feels like two sides of the same coin. It feels like you're getting the same. It feels like you're almost getting the same deal with each person. You know what I'm saying? It's an illusion of power, and you know, I don't mean to get too like conspiracy, you know, theorist on you, but it feels like it's like there's. If you ask me, I feel like it's the same person pulling the strings for both sides, and it's the illusion of power, and both parties are created to divide people. But anyways, I don't mean to talk too much about politics. Um, it just overall feels like everything is divided. Everything is divided. If and it's just insane to me. It feels like everyone's divided. It's either you know the race stuff, the gender wars, the religion stuff. You know everything, bro. Everything is divided. There is no like I feel like in a society people are gonna be different. People are going to think differently. People are gonna have different opinions, but it doesn't seem like it's like that's a foreign concept to people now. It's like that's a foreign thing. It's like everyone. It's like you need to think what I think or whatever, and it's like if you don't, it's a big war. And I feel like all of that is orchestrated to keep division. You know, because like I mean like when do you ever meet somebody that you have the same opinions on, the same thought processes? But it's like now it's become this big thing, you know. You're not the same religion as me, you know. It's this big feud, or you don't like the same gender that I do, so blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? Like even even with the like like LGBTQ people, right? There's a huge like divide between that. It's like you have people who are and who aren't. A lot of LGBTQ people hate like, you know, um straight people, and straight people hate LGBTQ people. And it's like to me, I'm like, who cares? Like, what is the point? I just don't get it. To me, my mindset has always been do what you want to do, bro. Do what you want to do. Do you? You know? Me personally, you know, I'm a straight guy, but it's like if you want to, you know, if you want to swing that way, bro, that's not my business. That's none of my, you know, I have nothing to do with that. But for some reason people get so heated when someone else has a different perspective or a different outlook on life, you know, or they want to do things a different way. It's like if it's not harming anyone, and that's the whole point. It's like if it's not harming anyone, then why are you throwing such a fit about it? Someone having another religion isn't harming you. It's not harming me, right? Someone being left or right, it doesn't harm me. I don't care. You know? Someone being white, someone being black, it doesn't harm me. I don't care. It's like feel like it's just gotten to the point to where, you know, these unnecessary things get highlighted. It's all unnecessary, honestly. They get highlighted, you know, in the news, for example. They'll specifically say things like black man killed by, I don't know, white man. It's almost like they're not saying it's a racial, it's an act of like uh race, you know, racial hatred or whatever, but it's like they're trying to imply that, and it's like that implication on things like the news or media or whatever, it's like that implication is what creates more division. You get what I'm saying? And it's like whole time I feel like these things are pointless. These are pointless things unless the act is deliberately and without a doubt a race. I mean, an act of like, let's say, it's a hate crime, right? Unless that's, you know, part of the crime, part of whatever has happened. I feel like it's irrelevant to bring up the race of somebody in like a crime, for example, or like the religion of somebody in a crime, or like, you know, their, I don't know, ethnicity or or sexual preference. And I feel like it's like it's irrelevant, but I feel like the reason that they have these implications, the reasons why they say these things is to sow seeds of division. It's so that we'll always be at odds with each other. And I feel like, as cliche as it sounds, it's like if we all came together, we will be a lot stronger. You know, we'll be able to get a lot more done. You know, but I feel like that's never gonna happen. You know, forget everyone's gonna be different. You know, I don't, bro. Me personally, I'm a Christian, but I can have a Muslim friend. That wouldn't bother me. That's not gonna. I'm not gonna lose sleep at night over that. I could have a Muslim friend. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but it's like all these things, everything is divided, bro. It's like if you don't think the way that I think, or you don't act the way that I act, or you know, it's always a division, you know. And there are the people who don't think that way, but I'm just saying that in the media, it's pushed that way a lot. It's pushed. It's almost like they're pushing the seeds of like division, you know. But I don't know, man. You know, that's just my thought. I didn't really articulate it the best. I'm sure y'all can see what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, really. It's truly unfortunate because I feel like as a people we could be so much farther, so much better. And then also we could really point out the things that need to be pointed out, the things that need to be addressed, rather than these stupid arguments, you know? Like, where are we gonna? What are we achieving by arguing that somebody shouldn't? I don't know. Shouldn't be. I don't know. Shouldn't pray to Allah or something. You know, like where are we getting? Where are we getting at this? Or where are we getting at debating if someone should be gay or not? That's none of my business, bro. It's really none of my business, bro. But for some reason, people find it that it's necessary, you know? And if it's not doing harm to us as a people, then I feel like it's pointless. We can all have our different preferences. We can all have our different ideologies, our different thought processes, but it doesn't mean that we have to be at odds with each other, you know? And I just feel like time and time again, I just see in the news or on, you know, on social media, there people point out these irrelevant things in these crimes or in these different acts or whatever. You know, they point out the genders, they point out the races, they point out, and it's like it's irrelevant, bro. I feel like if you're gonna judge somebody in any way, you should judge them by their character, not by what sort of orientation they have or or you know, their skin color. It's all irrelevant, man. Because you're always gonna have, you know, bad, bad bunches in every, I don't know the saying. I don't know. I'm stupid, but you're always gonna have, the rotten ones out of the pair. So yeah, but that's just my thought process. Um, if y'all agree or if y'all get what I'm trying to say, let me know. But yeah, I feel like we are screwed as a people because we can't even see that. There's so many people that can't even see that or don't even have that idea. And it's like, if we all came together as a people, we could do a lot more. But yeah, that's what I think. I'm in the video now. Bye.